Morena, Wairarapa. Rob Maunsell with you for the next 35, 40 minutes or so, bringing you Move, Mingle and Play, Arrow FM's weekly event and information program, just to let you know what's going on in the valley. All sorts of things happen here. When I select what I'm going to tell you about, it's not with any particular preference. This week we're going to focus on Mental Health Awareness Week. Started on Monday. It hasn't been widely publicised from what I can gather, but we have had information through, and I'd just like to read some of the events that have been happening and the awareness that is being encouraged. This year the theme is Reimagine Wellbeing Together. It encourages New Zealanders to reflect on the big and the small actions they've taken to take care of each other this year and to look at well-being through a new lens. We want New Zealanders to reimagine what well-being looks and feels like and believe that well-being is possible for everyone, says MHF Chief Executive Sean Robinson. MHF, of course, is Mental Health Foundation. Mr. Robinson acknowledges a level change announcement is due next week, which may bring up feelings of unease. This is to do with the COVID-19, of course, which has put a lot of stress on everybody, brought massive changes to communities and how the economy works. He says he's proud of how New Zealanders have rallied together and tackled the challenges of shifting through different levels. Mental Health Awareness Week is a timely reminder of how important it is to embrace the simple things we can do each day to really help strengthen our well-being. That's what will help us during the tough times. Robin Shearer, Director General of Mental Health and Addiction at the Ministry of Health, agrees. I'm particularly pleased to hear so many schools and kura are taking part this year, as we know it's been a particularly hard time for our young people, with disruptions and concerns about what will be waiting for them when they leave school or tertiary education. I was listening to a news report from the UK last night where the interviewee was commenting on how young people are suddenly confronted with no sure future educationally or professionally or occupationally. They've been told for decades now that if you work hard at school, get good results, find a passion that you can follow, you'll be able to pursue that in a tertiary education level, and there'll be a job market that'll take care of you. And of course that's all been turned on its head now. So we do have a lot of work to do, particularly with young people, to re-establish a confidence in the future and help prevent mental health problems. Each day of Mental Health Awareness Week, there's been a theme that's inspired by Te Whare Tapawha, a model developed by the Māori Health Advocate and Mental Health Foundation patron Sir Mason Jury. And I'll just go through the things that have happened this week. Te Whare Tapawha helps us to find ways to look after our taha Wairua, our spiritual health, taha tinana, that's our physical health, taha hinan gora, our emotional and mental health. Sorry about my pronunciations. And the taha whānau, family and friends. When all these things are in balance, including the whenua, the foundations, we thrive. When one or more of these is out of balance, our well-being is impacted, says Thomas Strickland of the Māori Development. He's the Māori Development Specialist at the Mental Health Foundation. So anyway, on Monday, there was a program to recharge with others in the whānau. On Tuesday, that was the 22nd of September, the theme was to rediscover everyday wonder. On Wednesday, 23rd, which was yesterday, the theme was return to nature. That speaks for itself, of course, in terms of mental well-being. We can get so much from just being out in nature. And then if we can find things to do in nature, we get a double benefit. Today, Thursday the 24th, the theme is to refuel your body. And tomorrow, the 25th, the theme is to refresh your mind. So these themes will be used as part of a popular well-being photo challenge, which runs from the 21st to the 25th, finishes tomorrow. New Zealanders are encouraged to take photos related to the theme to show that what well-being looks like for them. And if you want any more ideas of how to get involved in this, through your workplace, your school, kura, whānau, or your community, you can visit mhaw, which is mhaw.nz. So that's mental health awareness from one perspective. And what I'd like to do now is play you a song featuring Syd Barrett in the early days of Pink Floyd. This is See Emily Play.
Emily tries but misunderstands. She's often inclined to borrow somebody's dreams till tomorrow. There is no other day. Let's try it another way. You'll lose your mind and play free games for me. See Emily soon after dark, Emily cries, gazing through trees in sorrow, hardly a sound till tomorrow. There is no other day. Let's try it another way. You'll lose your mind and play free games for me. See Emily play. Put on a gown that touches the ground. Float on a river forever and ever. Emily, Emily. There is no other day. Let's try it another way. You'll lose your mind and play free games for me. See Emily
This particular
Syd Barrett playing with Pink Floyd. That song came out 1967. You can see the excited creativity. The guitar sounds like you'd never heard before. In those days, those guys were just breaking new ground with pop and rock music. And yet Syd suffered a severe mental illness Not long after that, he had to leave the band. He was replaced by David Gilmour. The band cared a lot for Sid, but they couldn't do a lot to help him. He went into mental health services, had specialist care, and his life was very, very much challenged by his mental illness. He died a few years ago, not in a happy state. I don't think he ever got really well. Of course, there were all sorts of influences that played into him becoming mentally ill, not least of which was an overindulgence in drugs, psychedelic and other drugs that were readily available at the time, and not much was known about them. Certainly there wasn't the caution with their use that there is now. So that's the story of Syd Barrett. And popular music has a lot of stories and a lot of involvement with mental illness and mental challenges. In fact, most musicians will have had experiences close to them, if not personal. And I will play a song by Reb Fountain a little bit later on, which he co-wrote with Sam Prebbles, and I'll tell you the story about that at the time. Right now, I'd like to go on with news about an interview between Jim Mora on Sunday morning on his Radio New Zealand program and Sir John Kirwan. That took place last Sunday. And if you haven't listened to it, you can go on to the Radio New Zealand website and find the interview and listen to it. But I'll just give you a few excerpts from this interview because I thought it was very telling. And of course, John is an absolute champion for the personal strategies that are required to maintain good mental health, having been through quite a prolonged and severe bout of depression and come out of it a much stronger man with incredible abilities now to articulate the story of his experience and to provide a leadership role and a role model for all of us. So anyway, here's the story from Jim Mora's show. According to John, each person's mind works differently, and there's a plethora of things that can be done to lift mental health. But it's a matter of finding what works for you and using structures which support that. I have a daily mental health plan and I stick to it. If you can meditate, do yoga, something like that, it's really important, but I can't. I've got a really active mind. I've got a ruminating mind. So for me, relaxing is cooking or reading. During COVID, I took up the guitar. It sounds like I'm killing a cat, but my mind really settles and relaxes. I do simple things during my day. I start with a shower, but I concentrate on the hot water and I stay in the present. I drink my coffee without my telephone. I sip my coffee and I really, really enjoy it. I walk really slowly. And I have things that I look forward to on a daily basis. I read before I go to sleep because when I read, I know that I rest a lot better. These are simple things. If you put them into your day, you must make it habitual. Creating time each day to switch off makes an enormous difference, he says. John Kirwan is the co-founder of Metemia, or Metemia, spelled MENTEMIA. I'm not quite sure of the pronunciation, which offers a free app to pass on tips for including these strategies in people's lives. What I've tried to do is show everyone these tools and techniques that I learned when I was really, really unwell and keep me incredibly well today. I just think these are just really trying times for everybody. And what I try to do is just be the person I can be the best person I can be on a daily basis, and have a really strong mental health plan that is about switching off. He says the techniques don't necessarily make life sweet and easy, but they do equip people to fight through the inevitable challenges. And just to finish off this quick report, Kerwin says he really enjoyed filming the batch that JK built. This is a new reality show featuring John and his family rebuilding the family batch in Waihi, a place that he has a lot of time for. He says time out spent at Waihi Beach, where his batch is, has been an important place for his wider family since his mum was young, and for him embodies a sense of ukaipo, which means where you belong, or to be part of something, or to belong. It's been such an important part of my life, growing up surfing, but also when I was unwell mentally, it was sort of my go-to place. The early episodes of the show also discuss how fire, sea and nature are forces Kerwin uses to keep his mental health in balance. So, John Kerwin, we're very fortunate to have a man of his calibre in our community, and of course he's a very humble fellow who just links up with people and listens to what they have to say and responds from his heart. I'm going to play you a track now from Jason Isbell and the 400 unit. This is a little bit to illustrate the comments John was making. Jason Isbell used to be the lead singer in a Texan rock band called the Drive-By Truckers. And he left that when the going got a bit hot. They were very popular, playing a lot, and I think he suffered a bit of a breakdown. And in his hometown, the mental health unit is called the 400 unit. And I think he spent some time there. I'm not sure that he was an inpatient, but he certainly was an outpatient and met lots of very interesting characters who were in a process of recovering their health, healing from mental illness and trauma. And so he called his band the 400 unit. So here is Jason Isbell.
Since I heard a man speak, watch the spillways when the water starts rising. Take your hat off when the sun goes down. Keep your eyes on that concrete tower. Maybe one day it'll crumble to the ground. She can't hold water and her clothes don't fit her right. She used to say that she wanted a daughter, now she only wants a Saturday night. There were days when that dusty cave was empty, packed with 40s. She made a claim on that hotel. Wanderers and strangers back before you could live off of your name.
Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. It's a song titled 7 Mile Island off one of their early albums. So this week coming, we're going to move on from Mental Health Awareness Week, and there are quite a few things happening. One of the things actually I would like to tell you about, which is happening tomorrow night, and I'm involved with it, is Blues on Friday at Don Luciano's on the corner of King Street, Chapel Street. A wonderful restaurant cafe run by Marvin and his team, and they host blues music on every second Friday. And tomorrow, the 25th of September, my band Graphia with our friend Ryan Coles are going to put on a 2-hour show there. And one of our feature songs, second on the set list, is Blues Stay Away From Me, written by Mark Knopfler. A wonderful song with lots of mental health themes tied up in it. As you've no doubt realised, a lot of popular music is based on people's struggles with difficulties emotionally, relationship-wise, finding their place in the world. And writing a song can be a huge relief and a wonderful voyage of discovery in the process of dealing with the stresses and strains of life. Just to also remember that last night was the spring equinox, and there was a gathering up at Stonehenge. I didn't get there because I was a little bit concerned that it might be a howling westerly with rain being driven across the hills, but it didn't happen like that. I'm sure they had a lovely time, but I did have to get a little bit ready for an early start this morning. So I'm hoping you guys had a wonderful equinox festival out at Stonehenge, and we look forward to the next events that happen out there. So let me just go through a few of the things that are coming up. On Sunday, this weekend, 27th, we've got the Spring Fling at Le Gras Vineyard, which is on the Loop Line out at Opaki, 42 the Loop Line Road. Meet local producers of wines, flowers, cheese, meats, berries, olive oil, kombucha, coffee, and more while celebrating spring at this family fun and friendly event. Plus, it's perfect for the whole family with spring animals, for the kids to pet, music to listen to, plenty of food. So that starts at 10 o'clock on Sunday, goes till 2:30. Then, of course, there's the Wairarapa Farmers Market, which is on this Saturday, 9 till 1 o'clock at the Solway Showgrounds. So don't miss the popular plant sale, featuring a range of flowering plants and shrubs, veggies, succulents, native and exotic trees, all ready for planting, and there's no better time to plant than the spring. All the regular stallholders will be there, including Gladstone Gardens, Kate's Kombucha, ethical and vegan baking from Whare o Mara, and the Macchiato Coffee Caravan, Asura Honey, Lavender Magic, and loads more. So please come on Saturday to the Solway Showgrounds. If you've never been there, it's a wonderful environment with the bush, a little stand of bush that's been left there at the edge of the showgrounds, the lovely old grandstand, which has the marketplace underneath it, and a lot of the plant and food stalls are outside in the sun underneath the big redwood tree. Then, now, for you petrol heads, here's the Mangatanoka Motors Hot Rod V8. So it's a competition, hot rod against V8s. And that's on Sunday between 10 and 4 p.m. And this will go ahead. A few events are still being cancelled. I noticed the Martinborough Wine Festival, Toast Wairarapa, has been cancelled this year, which is very sad. But anyway, the Mangatanoka Motors Hot Rod V's V8s is on Sunday. If you have a passion for hot rods or V8 cars, head to the Tui Brewery for a display of these impressive vehicles. There will be live music performed throughout the day and delicious food and refreshments available from the Tui Kitchen. Tui Brewery, State Highway 2, north of Paeatua at Mangatinoka. So that's a few events locally. Now I would like to mention Yarns and Barns, which is coming up on the 10th to the 18th of October. This is a very special event, happens every 2 years, and events are held in various locations, Wairarapa wide, from a yarn in an iconic woolshed to poetry at the Gladstone Vineyard, literary gatherings at Headley's Bookshop, Masterton Library, Aratoi, and the Carton Courthouse. Tickets are on sale now. The full program is available. You can see it on, let me see, what's the reference? It's on a Facebook page for Yarns and Barns. I won't go through all of the authors that are coming. We had David Headley in here recently. 2 weeks ago, I think he was here promoting the Michael Cooper photographic exhibition that's on at Aratoi. That's a must-see, and it's still on. But he also talked about Yarns and Barns. So we had a good preview of that. So we're going to go to one more song, and this is Jackson Brown singing Fountains of Sorrow.
magic feeling never seems to last. And while the future's there for anyone to change, still you know it seems it would be easier sometimes to change the past. I'm just 1 or 2 years and a couple of changes behind in my lessons at love's pain and heartaches too. Where if you feel too free and you need something to remind, there's this loneliness springing up from your life like a fountain from a pool. Fountain of sorrow, fountain of light. You've known that hollow sound of your own steps in flight. You've had to hide sometimes, but now you're alright. And it's good to see your smiling face tonight. Fountain of sorrow, fountain of light. You've known that hollow sound of your own steps in flight. You've had to struggle, you've had to fight to keep understanding and compassion in sight. You could be laughing at me, you've got the right, but you go on smiling, so clear and so bright.
Jackson Browne, Fountains of Sorrow, from his album Late for the Sky, recorded in 1974. An amazing singer, an amazing songwriter, and pretty handy on the piano. That was Jackson Browne playing the keyboards through that song. So, getting back to the events of the next week, I'd like to focus on events that have a positive effect on mental health. Some of them will relate to physical health as well, but the selection of what I'm going to inform you about is based on an understanding that we need help to be well mentally, and these events are contributing to that in the community. The first, the Salvation Army Oasis, gambling addiction help, free service, counselling services available, 41 Perry Street, Masterton. They don't have a particular event, but it has been put in the event section for today, Thursday, September the 24th. Worth remembering the services the Salvation Army has to offer. And then there's Age Concern, and they have a lot of events on through the week. There's one today starting at 9:30 at the Senior Citizens Hall in Cole Street. Steady as you go, falls prevention class. And for older people, falling is a very real threat, and with it can be some very serious health consequences, one of which is depression. Narcotics Anonymous meet at 6 o'clock tonight at 15 Victoria Street. That's all for Thursday in that realm. And then moving on to Friday, there's the Wairarapa Stop Smoking Service, the Quit Clinic at Whaiora, 9 o'clock till noon. Support available across the Wairarapa at no cost to you. And the number to call at Whaiora, 0800 494 246. So if you're thinking of giving up smoking, and I would encourage that very strongly, that's the place to go to, Wairarapa Stop Smoking Service. I think it's a daily service, so they've just mentioned it on Friday. Maybe it's just for Friday. But you ring that number, 0800 494 246, if you want help to quit smoking. There's the free Community Fit Club on Friday, 6 o'clock till 11 o'clock at the Carrington Park in Carton. All ages, all fitness level. And as we know, physical fitness, movement, activity is very good for mental health as well. Going on to Saturday, September the 26th, the Hospice Wairarapa support services are available free of charge for anybody dealing with a terminal illness. Terminal illness can be a time of huge stress in the family, and knowing that you've got the hospice support services available is a big plus. So their phone number is 378 8888, or the website is www.hospicewairarapa.co.nz. On Saturday, there is Women's Self-Defence with Dion, 9 o'clock in the morning at the Band Rotunda in Queen Elizabeth Park. And I'm sure that for women, feeling confident that you can defend yourselves is a big plus. There are things to be anxious about that happen in our community, and being prepared for them, I think, is very important. So with Dion's help, you can go and learn self-defence at the Band Rotunda, Queen Elizabeth Park. There is a phone number, 020 4124 4098, and that no doubt is Dion's phone number. There's also a park run, weekly 5K run walk, measured, timed, free, 8 o'clock start at the Woodside end of the Greytown Rail Trail. So getting out for a run with other people who are keen to run will really help you feel better. Sunday, we have the Masterton car boot sale, of course, and the market, which is in Essex Street on the corner of Essex and Chapel Street between 6:30. Wow, I didn't realise it started so early. 6:30 till 11:30, and then they're out of there. And that's a great community event. A whole variety of things happen. You can even go and do some shopping. But you can have fun there too. And I'm sure there's coffee, there's drinks, there's nibbles to buy, all sorts of curiosity items, second-hand stuff. It's equivalent of a massive garage sale, and a wonderful event to be part of, even just for the social contact. So that's Sunday morning, 6:30 till 11:30. Age concern on Monday, they have exercise for seniors, 9:30 a.m., 9:30, that's line dancing at 9:30 to 10:30 at the Senior Citizens Hall in Cole Street. I'd encourage you older folk, and you don't have to be that old, to get involved with Age Concern, a wonderful organisation doing a lot for our mental health and our physical health. So on Monday, there is also the Wairarapa Stop Smoking Service. This one, it looks like it's at Whaiora too. So as I thought, it's a daily service. You can apply to that at Whaiora, and you get a quit coach who will help you travel away from being a nicotine addict to being free of it and much healthier. The Carton Food Bank is on Monday, 10 till 11, at Hau Manu House, down the lane between Carter's and the Clock Tower. Presumably that's in Carton Food Bank, of course. So if you need some extra food, and don't be too proud, that's the place to go, and it's very generously provided and very willingly given. And I'm sure the people who run it could do with some help too. If any of you have a spare food to contribute or want to make a regular donation, you could go down there or call 379-4092. 379-4092 for the Carton Food Bank. Disability Action Wairarapa office, the CCS, Disability Action Wairarapa office, is open from 10 to 1 Monday to Friday for mobility parking permits, disability support and advocacy. So that's in Bannister Street, Masterton. Worth knowing about it, and if you feel you need some support, mobility, parking, general support in the home, or advocacy for issues that you're dealing with, which could even be to do with your medical services, nursing services, home care, all of that can be facilitated through CCS Disability Action Wairarapa with their office in Bannister Street. And you call 378-2426 or 0800 227 2255. So we're getting on into the week. There's the Epilepsy Support Group, meets on Monday at the Salvation Army office, 11 o'clock in the morning. Epilepsy Support Group. That's in High Street, South Carterton. A phone number for that, 0800 202122. And epilepsy, of course, a rather insidious condition, and it can lead to other disabilities, and with it considerable anxiety and depression that is a challenge for people with epilepsy. So getting enough help and knowing where to go for help is very important. More generally for help, you can go to the Citizens Advice Bureau, where you get free and confidential advice. That's Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at 43 Perry Street in Masterton. So don't forget, Citizens Advice Bureau, a wonderful organisation, lots of willing people and lots of inside knowledge about things that can be helpful. To finish off Monday, there is the Carterton Alcoholics Anonymous meeting at 8 o'clock. Salvation Army Community Rooms, 210 High Street. And that's for anybody with the challenge of freeing themselves from the intoxication and addiction to alcohol. The people to call there are Bob on 021 042 2947 or Martin on 372 7764. So before we finish the rest of the week, I'm just going to play you one more song. As I mentioned earlier, I have a Reb Fountain song from her album Little Arrows, and this is Down in the Valley.
Can't let you go away from me, so I bury you down beneath the devil in me. Can't watch you leave, don't want you to stay, longing for you, my love, there's a price
to you. For you see my desire, it's all crimson fire. Devil me, can't share the air. Riding the waves of your sin, lining for you, my love. To fuck the heart of me.
Reb Fountain with Sam Prebles doing backup vocals, and very sadly Sam passed away before that album was finished. So we our thoughts with Reb. She's going to be doing a concert at Cannons Creek later in November, so we're looking forward to having her back to visit the Wairarapa again, which she has a bit of a soft spot for. So the events that we still have to take note of coming up Tuesday next week, the 29th of September, another Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, 7:30 at the St Matthew's Church Hall, 35 Church Street. That can be engaged with by anybody. If you want to come and find out how AA works, if you have a friend who you think might need to come, you can go to the meeting and be met by some lovely people who are very experienced, very warm-hearted about helping you move on from the problem you have or the concern you have. So that's Anne at Masterton Alcoholics Anonymous, 378-2338, or David on 021 116 5505. Wednesday next week, we have Age Concern again doing exercise for seniors at the Senior Citizens Hall in Cole Street at 1:30 in the afternoon. We have a confidential prayer session at the Healing Rooms, Ranfurly Rooms, Chapel Street, Masterton. I'm not quite sure what the process of healing at the Healing Rooms is, but it's worth taking an interest in it if you feel the need for healing. It will be with people who have a spiritual approach to themselves and their relationships and have some skills to offer. The phone number to call if you want to find out more about Healing Rooms is 021 159 4160. And then further on Wednesday we have the recreational walking group at 9:30 in the morning, meeting in the Essex Street car park. Recreational walking. Walking is such a bedrock activity for physical and mental health. Just going walking, and then you can choose your environment, and sometimes that adds to the experience. So that's it for me at Move, Mingle and Play for this week. It's been nice chatting to you. Please don't forget the gig that I'm involved with at Don Luciano's Friday night, 5 till 7 o'clock. It's tapas and drinks, blues music, and a $5 cover charge. So that's the benefit for me being able to do this show. I give a bit of a plug for my own interests. I'm going to go out now, just taking you back to Syd Barrett and Pink Floyd.
Their album by the Pink Floyd, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, has some very interesting sounds. These gentlemen you're about to meet are on their first visit to the United States. As a matter of fact, they've only been here less than a week, as a matter of fact. Would you greet them warmly, please? The Pink Floyd.
Got a flip-top, pack of cigarettes in the pocket, feeling good at the top, shopping at shops, walking in the sunshine town, feeling very cool. With the butchers and the bakers and the supermarket stores, getting everything she wants from the supermarket store. Apples and oranges, apples and oranges. She trips up sweetly to meet the people. She's on time again. And then I catch her by the eye, then I stop and have to think what a funny thing to do, 'cause I'm feeling very big. Apples and oranges, apples and oranges. She loves me.
Apples and Oranges, the latest release.
So that's Pink Floyd with Syd Barrett
sneak in here. Sit tight.
In the hot seat.
I don't think I've done an interview
Roger Waters
without
on
having
bass,
chatted with any before. Particularly people who've come about 8,000 or 10,000 miles. You've only been here 2 days.
So thank you very much for being
one question that comes immediately to mind when we go to visit your country.
I'm going to leave you with a farewell and good wishes for the weekend and the week ahead. See you next week.